So about a month back, I decided to try a couple of benchmarks because I was at the heaviest I've ever been in my entire history of climbing. So I was weighing around 82, 83 kilograms, and this was also intentional. It was about 6 kilograms more than I usually weigh. And I decided to get up to this weight just to see if I could prevent injuries a little bit more and also just increase the efficiency of my training, so make every session count a little bit more. So yeah, before we start the video, I wanted to give a quick update because I know some people have been asking about the Swedish Championship, which was a lot of fun, and I unfortunately don't have any material from it because Corona happened, so nobody was allowed to film in there. But they had some live streams going on, and I've asked them, and they've approved for me to take some of the footage, so I could make a video of it. Since it's just I've taken it strictly off the live stream, so the quality isn't really amazing. But if you want me to create an episode of it and just walk through some other boulders, talk about them, drop me a comment and I'll make it happen. Shouldn't take too long, so I think I could make it happen quite soon. Anyways, so I was doing these benchmarks and I started off by just trying a one-arm pull-up and quickly noticed that I could actually do a little bit less than I expected. So I did it with a plus 5 kilogram barbell, and got 80%, 90% maybe of a 10 kilogram one-arm pull-up, which is actually a little bit lower than I can usually do, which I guess is natural since I was weighing more than I usually do as well. But yeah, I think from now on we can just jump into the video and go back a month in time and take it from there. So the thing is, these exercises that I'm doing right now are probably not the most relevant for climbing, I'd say, but they're doing a one-arm pull-up can be really good and be beneficial. It's good to have that strength for a lot of climbers, but you can do so well without them. So I just want to clarify why I'm doing this right now. It's purely because these are my benchmarks. These are the kind of exercises that work well with my body and my climbing style, which is why I have these as a benchmark. But for somebody else, maybe a mobility thing would be a better benchmark. Can you go down into splits, or can you do some weird thing? I don't know. It's a lot of climbers are different, and that's why. And that's kind of why the sport is so amazing as well, is that you can be any form of climber and be very good at climbing, even though you don't have the same strengths as somebody else. But yeah, let's move over to the 1 rep max pull-up. So I'm gonna start off at 60 kilograms, which I think is something I should be able to do with not too much trouble, and then add it with 10 per go. So start off at 60 and then try and do 70 and then try and do 75. The highest I've done was actually my body weight when I was 76 kilograms, a year or so back. But I don't do weighted pull-ups. That was actually the last time I tried it as well. So it's not an exercise that I do so very often, because I'm naturally quite strong at it. So there's no need for me to build on it more. But it's a good benchmark because, yeah, as mentioned, naturally strong at it. The heaviest thing is always to lift it from the ground with your hips. Oh. Not easy, but not too hard either. So I think that's a pretty good starting point. But I'll go ahead and add 10 kilograms straight away. Stay. Good boy. 50. Damn! I hope I can do this. I should be able to do this.
Come on.
Kind of? Kind of. That's okay. I'll rest for a minute and then try this again. Let's try and do it a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
Final go. I don't know, it's kind of the same. Head is slightly above the bar. I don't feel solid. I don't feel like I'm pulling myself in. But on the other hand, I never have when I do these benchmark or my top level. So I'm gonna be okay with that for now. Both of these are actually lower than I expected, the one arm and the pull-up, but it's good. I feel strong when I'm climbing, so if I can be at a higher weight and not do these kind of exercises as heavy, it probably means that I'm climbing somewhat better. That's a good sign. So I've got fingers that I want to do. I've got some gym stuff that I want to do. But I think I'm going to start off with the campus exercises. And before I do that, I'm going to try and recruit my muscles by doing some boulders. So the way I usually do this when I try and recruit for campusing is I find 3 or 4 boulders. In this case, I've decided on 3 of them that are quite a bit below my limit. And then I try and just be as strong as I possibly can on them. Meaning I try and just like tense every muscle very, very hard and do powerful moves and just, you know, pull things together almost, try and crush the holes off the wall. So we're gonna start off with a 6B+, that I'm gonna make look really, really hard. I don't know if it's so obvious what I mean, but I try and just like do swift big moves and then lock it off as I go. Okay. Sometimes you get a few hits here and there when doing this, but it's pretty effective for me to try and just get everything going. Love that sound. You know, nails on the wall. But yeah, that feels really good. They feel, they're starting to feel strong. I'll do one final max exertion exercise. I'll do this blue one with campus. No feet. Oh, okay. Okay, that last move was a bit optimistic. But I think that's good. I think I'm ready for the campus benchmarks. Okay, so with campusing, I have 2 primary things that I always go to when I try my benchmarks or when I train it. One thing is these like slightly juggier balls. So I think a lot of gyms have similar slopers where like they're slopers but they're in-cut, so you get a lot of pulling from them. And usually I try and do 169 on these as my, like, if I can do that, it's good. Then I have good like max power. I can go far between good holes. So that's what we're gonna try today. And with the campus rungs, I guess I should talk a little bit about these because these are kind of special. They're benchmarked pretty much all over the world. I think it's 16.5 centimeters in between here or something. It's a very specific measurement between each 2 rungs. And doing 159 is kind of a strongman benchmark that I'm never quite at. I can do I've been able to do 158.5 on this one when I was training it quite a bit, but I never quite got to 159. So I have a couple of goals here, 169, 159. But today I'm just going to establish a benchmark, which if it's 158, I'll be happy with that. But I'll start off with these 2. Okay, good. A bit desperate, but it went. Okay. I mean, I can do them. It feels quite desperate, I'd say. Could be worse, but it's just not ideal. It's good to know. Like, yeah, I think I gotta do some power training now. I think it'll be especially beneficial now that I'm gonna try and lose weight to do power training. But that's the thing. Like if I do it too much and go down in weight at the same time, that's when you injure yourself. So I'm gonna try and just like maybe sneak in a little bit of power once a week or so. But okay, campus rungs. I'll take a minute's rest and then I'll try 1.5 something. We'll see how far I get.
That was almost what?
That was almost 1.58, but I'll try it again because it's kind of like this campus move is for me very much like climbing a boulder. You have some goes that are good and then some who are not so good. And that didn't feel like a good go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try it again in like 2 minutes or so. Okay, that's. In all honesty, I should be fine with that. Like when I started training for 159 last year, 158, I don't think I could do at the beginning of it. But I just don't feel as strong as I want to feel, which is contradictory because in a way that's kind of what I intended with the way I've been training lately. I don't want to feel strong at these type of exercises. I want to feel good on the wall and I want to feel like I can train without breaking. But you always have that ego thing going on where you're like, what, I could be stronger if I did this and this. But I have to sort of let that go for a minute. But yeah, it feels good. It's good. So this exercise, it's just like the standard Peacemaker 2000 board that you see in a lot of climbing gyms. And you try and hang off the middle edge. I worked on this because last year I realized that I was very, very weak at this, and I started working on it to try and hang for 10 seconds, which I ultimately did, I think, on both arms after about a month or so of training it. And before I could hang for like 2 to 3 seconds. Now I haven't trained this in a very long time, and I'm sort of scared that my results will be like, again, 2 to 3 seconds. But I'll try and push it as far as I can. Ah! That's pretty good actually on the right arm. It must have been more than 5, right?
Yeah.
Higher than expected. Yeah, that's really good. I was expecting finger strength to be a lot lower. it's funny actually. I expected a lot of this to go differently. So for example, I expected powerful climbing to go more easily just because I built a little bit more muscle. So I should have just more to pull with. And I expected finger strength to be lower just because, you know, I weigh more. It's harder to hang with 5 extra kilograms when you haven't been training that type of thing. I'm gonna finish it off with one gym exercise that I've been doing quite a bit lately. And I'll talk about it once we get to the gym. Okay, so the last thing that I have as my benchmark is using a barbell to train the Brachioradialis muscle, which is this thing right here. It's very well developed in a lot of advanced climbers, and a muscle that I've been interested in for a while to see how it would affect my climbing training it. Essentially, it helps you lock off a lot, and it helps you also like get your weight close to the wall. So yeah, we're gonna start off. What I'm gonna use as my benchmark will be a 3 rep max. So see how much weight I can put on and do three in a row of, because I feel like that's the most relevant to climbing. You don't have to have the endurance to do like 12 really, and doing 12 would be more just to build volume than anything else. So I think 3 rep max would be a good measurement for it. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. I could try adding a little bit of weight, but I think that was my max, like right off the bat. I'm not sure. The thing is, I'm actually like, if you have some feedback on the form and just the exercise in general, please drop it in a comment down below. Like, I've read up a little bit on this type of training, but I haven't seen it ever being applied to climbing from people that I've, you know, talked to. So I'm not even sure that it's a great exercise to involve in your routine. But for me, it's been feeling really good. I do it before climbing each session. Oof.
How much did you do when you started with this exercise?
When I started this exercise, I did it with 20 kilograms. I'm not sure what a good level is of it, honestly, but try it out and see where it feels good. I've noticed some tweaks that we've talked about. We can actually, I guess we can walk through the exercise a little bit, because it's, I think it's fun for people to try, and I think it could be good for a lot of people climbing. This and deadlifts, I think, are two exercises that are really beneficial for a lot of climbers. With this one, there's a couple of things that I bear in mind. And again, please feel free to correct me in the comments if you have any critics, if you want to criticize it. I'm very open to it, because if you look around on the web, you're gonna find a lot of contradictions to what's right and what's wrong, and it's good to have just as much input as possible on any exercise that you do. So like, don't take my word for how you're supposed to do this. Look it up yourselves. Look it up on the web if you want to try it, because whatever anybody says on the internet, there's always going to be a different voice that says something else, and you have to listen to each one of them and then make your own well-informed decision on how you want to train each specific muscle group and exercise. Anyways, this is my feedback and my input on it. Shoulder width with the
Yeah.
So this is my input on this. Shoulder width with the bar. Try and engage the elbows a little bit, so you're almost bending them inwards towards your body, and then you essentially do a bicep curl with the bar, and try and engage your brachioradialis as much as possible. Make sure you don't let your elbows flare out so much or anything like that. And if you feel like it's hurting your wrist, I've noticed some people let go of one of their fingers and just do it with 3 fingers. Because essentially what you want to do is just target your brachioradialis as much as possible, which again is this muscle right here, and hit it in any way you feel actually works. And start off easy. Like, do this a little bit before climbing with a very small weight, and then try and go upwards over a long period of time. Because I think a lot of climbers will benefit from just doing this like in the first part, like just a little bit before as a warm-up, just to recruit the muscles, get them warmed up. Yeah, so I guess that's it for this exercise. I just wanted to introduce it a little bit because it's been a part of my training for a while now, and I feel like it's good. I like it. So I'm trying it slightly heavier. Now it's up to 37.5. Okay. I think maybe I could have finished that one, but I think I would have like blown everything out. that was a little bit too heavy for me. So let's say 35 as the limit for now. 35. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna end the episode there. I've got some benchmarks that I'm excited to try in a month from now. But I'm curious, because this was I think this was the first taste of training on my channel so far. It's been a lot of focus on climbing, which will always be the focus if I'll be honest with you guys. Because I think training videos are going to be fun to make, and I have a lot of ideas that I want to discuss with you, and I think a lot of videos to make. But more passionate about climbing, and I think training is just a super interesting tool to help with my climbing. So I'm always going to enjoy sharing it with you guys as well. But I'm curious, did you like it? Do you want to see more training content? If so, drop me a comment, like the video, all that stuff. Also, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Bye, folks.